My sister stole my boyfriend. Now she wants my inheritance. I, 25F, was in a relationship with a guy, Max, I met in college until 2 years ago. I introduced him to my family, and while my parents didn't particularly like him due to cultural differences, they were polite. My sisters Emma and Maria, 21F and 12F, welcomed him warmly, which made me overjoyed. For context, we worked in a different city and had been together for 2 years, though we didn't live together due to cultural norms that frown upon it before marriage. 3 months after he met my family, I was at his place when a message from my sister popped up on his phone. Normally, I don't look through people's phones, but something compelled me to check. Their chats were full of flirty and explicit texts. Heartbroken, I screenshotted everything, sent it to my phone, and left without saying a word. My phone blew up with calls and texts from him, but I ignored them and shared the screenshots with our mutual friend group. Then I blocked him. What hurt most wasn't his betrayal but my sister's. We had always been close due to our parents' neglect. The next day, I flew to my parents' place and confronted her in front of the family. She admitted everything without shame. My mom slapped her and my dad was furious. I felt numb and broken. Things escalated 2 days later when she announced she was pregnant with my ex's child. My parents softened toward her, which enraged me. I said some harsh words and told them never to contact me again. I blocked them, keeping in touch only with my youngest sister out of concern. 2 weeks later, I received a wedding invitation from my mother. She called me using a new number to insist I attend for the family's sake, even suggesting I marry soon to avoid embarrassment. I told her to get lost and blocked the number. The wedding happened, and they lied to the family about my absence, blaming work commitments. Some relatives were concerned, while others blamed me for being selfish. Out of frustration, I posted everything on Facebook, caused a stir, and my phone blew up with calls and texts. Some cousins supported me, while others criticized me. 5 days ago, my dad passed away. Despite his faults, he was my dad, and I was devastated. My mom didn't even inform me. It was my youngest sister who called, crying. I booked the earliest flight and arrived at their house, only to be cursed by my sister and mom. They accused me of being there for the inheritance. Surprisingly, my dad's will left me 40% of his assets, my youngest sister 30%, my mom 20%, and my older sister only 10%. Now, my sister and her husband are demanding I give up my share and threatening to sue me. Legally, they have no case. We met with my dad's lawyer, who was also a close friend of his, and I learned more about the situation. The lawyer explained that my dad regretted what had happened but couldn't go against cultural norms or my mother. While he didn't actively support my sister, he also didn't interfere much. However, he had once called her and her husband selfish and cheaters in private. Despite our estrangement, he kept tabs on me through my youngest sister. His will reflected his guilt. He left my older sister enough to discourage a legal challenge and ensure some financial support for her child. My mom's share was intended as her retirement fund. My youngest sister and I both received equal funds, with hers secured until she turns 18. My dad's shares and investments made up my portion. I never expected to be included in his will, given our strained relationship. Despite everything, I don't hate my parents. I was just deeply disappointed in them. Their betrayal still stings, especially my mother's harsh words, but I won't give up my share. I've consulted a lawyer friend who reassured me that my sister can't do much legally. At the end of the meeting, her husband threatened me, saying, "You'll regret this." I replied, "Once a cheater, always a cheater." I'm still concerned for my youngest sister's well-being and have asked her to alert me if anything happens. For now, I'll stay in town for the next 15 days, hoping things settle down, though I doubt my sister and mom will stop their antics.